It feels like the world shifted overnight. You went to sleep in a normal, predictable world, and you woke up in the middle of a science fiction movie. Suddenly, machines are writing beautiful poetry, passing complex medical exams, and holding deep philosophical conversations that feel terrifyingly human. To the everyday observer, it feels exactly like magic, a sudden unexplained spark of digital consciousness that simply dropped out of the sky without warning. But magic is just science with a hidden trick. And the trick behind the modern artificial intelligence revolution wasn't sudden at all. It was quietly published on a normal Tuesday in 2017. A small group of researchers uploaded a document to a scientific internet archive. It was a blueprint, a master key that unlocked the true, terrifying potential of machines. The paper had a deceptively simple, almost poetic title: Attention is all you need. That single document changed the trajectory of human history forever. But to truly understand why it was such a massive leap forward, we have to travel back to the dark ages of machine learning. We have to understand the invisible prison that computers were trapped inside. We have to look at the keyhole problem. Imagine for a moment trying to read a sprawling, epic novel, but there is a massive catch. You are not allowed to look at the whole page. Instead, you are forced to read the book through a tiny, sliding keyhole that only reveals one single word at a time. You look through the keyhole and see the word "the." The keyhole slides over. You read the word "castle." The keyhole slides again. You read the word "was." By the time you reach the end of a long, twisting sentence, your brain is struggling to remember exactly how that sentence began. The first few words have faded from your immediate memory. You only know the word you are looking at right now, and maybe the one or two words that came right before it. If someone asks you what the whole paragraph means, you are completely lost. This was exactly how artificial intelligence processed language before the year 2017. Machines read text strictly in a straight line, step by step, word by painful word. They were trapped on a slow, relentless conveyor belt of information. If you asked a computer back then to translate a long paragraph from English to French, it would start at the first word, try to translate it, and then move to the second word. But as the sentences grew longer and more complex, the computer would lose the thread entirely. It would forget the subject of the sentence. It could not hold the beginning of a thought in its head while it was trying to process the end of that exact same thought. It was a grueling, frustrating process for the scientists building these machines. They tried desperately to patch the problem. They tried building larger digital memory banks to help the machines remember the beginning of sentences. They tried making the imaginary keyhole just a little bit wider. But the fundamental, core flaw always remained. The machine was still reading blindly, one step at a time. Language is simply not a straight line. Language is a web. Language is a complex tapestry where the meaning of a single word at the very end of a book can hinge entirely on a tiny detail established in the very first chapter. The old machines were completely blind to this tapestry. They could only see the isolated, lonely threads. Because of this, early translation tools and chatbots were incredibly slow, profoundly limited, and often sounded incredibly robotic and clumsy. They were entirely missing the spark of true comprehension. They needed a way to see the entire picture at once. Then came the massive breakthrough. The 2017 paper dropped into the scientific community and proposed a radical, entirely new way of building a digital brain. They called this new architecture the transformer. The name sounds like it belongs to a blockbuster action movie, but the core concept is beautifully, stunningly elegant. The researchers asked a profound question. What if we completely stop forcing the machine to read through the keyhole? What if we instead let the machine look at every single word on the page all at the exact same time? They destroyed the slow step-by-step conveyor belt and replaced it with a breathtaking new process. They called it self-attention. Self-attention is the beating heart of modern artificial intelligence. It is the secret sauce that makes machines seem smart. Let's break down exactly how it works using a simple example. Think about the word bank. If you see the word bank sitting all alone on a blank piece of white paper, it's a total mystery. Are we talking about a massive, secure building that holds money, or are we talking about the muddy, grassy edge of a river? You have absolutely no idea until you look at the other words surrounding it. If the full sentence is, "I sat by the riverbank and watched the water," the mystery vanishes instantly. You know exactly what it means. But you didn't figure this out by reading left to right like a broken robot. You figured it out because your incredible human brain instantly formed a connection between the word river, the word water, and the word bank. Your brain cast a net of invisible threads linking the context together in a fraction of a second. You paid attention to the right clues. The transformer architecture gave this exact same miraculous ability to machines. Under the new self-attention system, when a machine looks at a paragraph, it doesn't just process the words in a boring chronological order. Instead, it actively calculates how strongly every single word connects to every other word in that sentence, no matter how far apart they are on the page. In our example, the machine looks at the word bank, looks across the entire sentence simultaneously, and draws a bright, glowing mathematical line directly connecting it to the words river and water. It actively ignores the word watched because the action of watching doesn't change the physical definition of the bank. The machine creates a map of meaning. It builds a beautiful, interconnected web of relationships. It learns to pay attention only to what truly matters. This was nothing short of a massive revolution. Because the machine was finally looking at everything all at once, it suddenly understood deep context. It suddenly understood sarcasm, tone, and humor. It understood the incredibly subtle nuances of human language that had confused and defeated the smartest computers on Earth for decades. And just as importantly, because it was no longer waiting for the slow conveyor belt to move one word at a time, the machine could process massive, unimaginable amounts of information incredibly fast. You could feed it an entire encyclopedia, and it would instantly map the connections between every sentence, every paragraph, and every chapter, all at the exact same time. It was the digital equivalent of taking the blinders off a horse. The transformer was not just an incremental software update or a slight improvement. It was a fundamental, earth-shattering shift in how computers digest and understand reality itself. We are currently living in the massive shockwave of that single paper. The explosive boom of artificial intelligence that is currently reshaping our entire world is not a sudden magic trick. It is the silent, invisible engine of the transformer hard at work behind the screen. Every single time a machine instantly summarizes a massive 100-page legal document, it is using self-attention. Every time a digital assistant writes a flawless block of complex computer code, or composes a breathtaking symphony, or helps a doctor diagnose a deeply rare disease by scanning endless oceans of medical journals, it is using the brilliant blueprint drawn up in 2017. The researchers behind the paper proved that you absolutely do not need overly complicated step-by-step memory systems to make a machine act intelligent. You just need to teach the machine how to connect the dots. You just need to teach the machine how to look at the grand, sweeping tapestry of human knowledge, find the hidden threads, and truly understand how they all weave together. The entire world changed forever the moment we finally realized that attention truly is all you need.